Use your clitoris before it disappears. So if the clitoris is not regularly stimulated, it can lose its function, and this is called clitoral atrophy. It occurs when there's inadequate blood flow to the clitoris, and this can significantly decrease your sex drive. So make sure to use your clitoris or you could lose it forever.
That dire warning came from period pain relief brand Ovira. Over 1 million people have seen that video, and it led to panic among people who think that they might suffer from clitoral atrophy if they don't stimulate themselves enough, which, by the way, stimulate yourself all day. Like, there's nothing wrong with that, but the information contained in that video is not really accurate, okay?
But it's not that inaccurate either. That's the interesting part.
Yeah, so the clitoris is an amazing thing.
Agreed.
Okay, so if you, the phrase, if you don't use it, you'll lose it, doesn't really apply. So it's not gonna disappear if you stop using it or stimulating it.
Kinda.
Okay. So clitoral atrophy is a real phenomenon. Let's be real about that, okay? But it doesn't make the clitoris go away entirely, and it's not something that's essentially irreparable harm, okay? So Dr. Janelle Howell, a pelvic physical therapist, says this: it's important to acknowledge that the entire clitoral organ doesn't disappear, but this is the amazing part, but the size of it shrinks, retreating back behind the hood, which can make it appear like the clitoris is gone. But it's not gone, it's still there.
But it's kind of buried. Okay. So no, what I found, there's two amazing parts of the story. One is, it turns out the clitorati rule us all.
Okay. As it should be.
Yeah, well, maybe that kind of sounds interesting. Anyway.
We're coming.
Well, maybe. Okay. Anyways, no, seriously, two interesting parts of the story. One is that it turns out this phenomenon is not entirely inaccurate, like I said. So it can happen. Now, it's not just because you didn't use it. A lot of times it has to do with hormones that your body is producing or not producing. It's a combination of things. And if they're not producing their hormones, you're less likely to use it. So then it's a double whammy. And it can atrophy and it can get kind of buried and stuff. Now, it's not that common. You don't have to panic over it, and you don't have to be like, I gotta use it today, otherwise it's gonna be a goner, right? No, but it's not a completely crazy, it's not totally false. So that's interesting. The second interesting thing is, when I was growing up, there was this thing called brand safety, right? And advertisers didn't want to be near things that were controversial. By the way, they still apply that to news. So they're like, oh, the Young Turks, they like fight against racism and homophobia. So that's controversial. I don't know if we want to be involved in that. Meanwhile, though, other brands have realized, oh, it's no holds barred. There are no rules anymore, and no one cares about your stupid brand safety. So they're on TikTok going, you better buy our product, otherwise your clitoris is gonna disappear.
But okay.
People are panicking. Oh no, what? All right.
Look,
I can't even tell how this product's related to that.
That's exactly what I was about to say, right? We're talking about a menstrual pain relief company. That's like their brand, that's what they do. But they're talking about, you really gotta make sure your clitoris is stimulated enough, there's enough blood flow there so it doesn't atrophy. It led to some panic, right? So it's like some people were worried, like, oh no, maybe I need to do something here. But everybody calm down, you're probably fine. And I do want to also just talk about just the lack of knowledge, because I think the panic also demonstrates that there's a lack of knowledge about people's own bodies. And I think that's a failure of our public school system intentionally in a lot of parts of this country that do not want kids to learn about human anatomy. They think it's wrong, and I'm talking about red states that pass certain restrictions when it comes to that kind of education. Now in 2019, researchers in the UK, so this is not in the United States, the UK, asked 2,000 adults to look at an anatomy chart and label the clitoris, labia, vagina, and urethra. The results were, well, not good. According to Victoria Waldersee, a data journalist, a third of both women and men the men part does not surprise me, did not know what the clitoris was. 59% of men could not accurately label where the vagina is located. Oh my God.
Ain't that the guy's that? It's true, right?
61% of men could not correctly indicate the urethra, and 52% of men could not find the labia.
Yeah, but okay, now the most shocking part is not in that one. I read it in a different article. 49% of women didn't know where the vagina was.
It's not that they don't know what the vagina was. I read that stat as well.
Dude, where's my vagina?
They were asked to label the different components of the female genitalia.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Okay, that you went into the details there and
Yeah.
got the right results. See, that's journalism right there, okay? So now, look, last thing on this is just a sophisticated version of what Alex Jones does. Alex Jones makes most of his money from penis pills. And he does segments where he's like, oh, no, because of the water and the globalists, what they have, your penis is shrinking every day, and you're losing semen count, and you're losing this, and this, your pill, it's gonna go away. You need to buy these pills. You need to buy these pills. And he apparently made hundreds of millions of dollars from that. So this is apparently an old trick. Don't believe the hype. It's not going anywhere, okay? All right. Let's go up and down a little bit though. All right, so, okay, we gotta go, but we have a crazy bonus episode, TYT.com/join.
Bye.